We had this idea to start using this old factory as something. Every time we came up with a game plan, we always wanted to build cars. Whatever it was, we came back to cars. And when we started looking for something to build, this car popped up, and that's where, you know, the whole situation started.
What Wally Troy did was build kind of an all-encompassing custom car that embodied elements of hot rodding, the race cars of the day, and sports cars. It was an aluminum-bodied car, but used very traditional hot rod style running gear with a racy aluminum body.
This is the October 1960 issue of Hot Rod magazine, and this is where the Troy Roadster was first featured. The car has kind of been a combination of a lot of parts, as most hot rods are, so it's got a lot of Ford running gear, along with a Chevy engine and transmission, and then a lot of custom parts that he built over the years too. So another cool one is that it actually was in a comic book. There's a couple old pictures of it, and you can tell it's just totally the exact same car. It's got the double bubble windshields, and one of the things prior to the restoration was the tire in the back hatch, but there's a couple good shots of it. So we chased this car for probably 5-6 years trying to get it, and kind of started with this as our main focus. And it started with a photo, and my dad found the photo and said, look at how beautiful this car is, how simple this car is. We could build this. Foolishly saying that, we found out that there's a whole lot more to it than just, yeah, we can build a car. But luckily, with a lot of great friends and a lot of great people, we were able to make it happen. Popped up at the Monterey auction, and we had a friend out there who kind of worked the deal for us and got it taken care of. And then it came back, and 2.5 months later, we had 3D scans, and we were designing chassis and getting rolling on that. So when we first got the car, it was, you know, something that we had chased for a long time, and it was so cool. When we got it, we realized it looks cool, but it drives and handles and performs like a 1959. When we went to build the new version of the car, we basically said, all right, let's start with a clean slate, make this thing drive like a brand new car. Nothing old will be used. It's going to be brand new parts all the way through. And let's make this thing handle like a brand new F1 Indy car, anything like that. So this is our concept car. Luke DeLay did the body from Marcel's Metals. Joe Scarbo from Scarbo Engineering had done all the work for the chassis, the suspension, all that. He designed all that. This car, we had a lot of help getting started because at the time, we weren't a shop, we weren't anything. This car was built in conjunction with Scarab Motorsports out of Kansas City. They kind of helped get us started, get us, you know, pointed in the right direction, and got a lot of contacts figured out early for us. This one they pretty much took to completion. We had to tweak a couple things, but this was, you know, as the concept car, we had them help us out big time. This was basically what got us all started and made it all possible. So our first car that we built in-house is the prototype here, and this one was start to finish, the first car here. This car was actually being built as that car was being finished. So we were already rolling pretty well along by the time that one was getting packaged up. So this one took about a year. So the start of the process, trying to work through all the bugs and figure out how to build cars, was about a year's worth of time frame. It's a full tube frame chassis, pushrod independent coilovers, Willwood brakes all the way around. It's an LS3. This one's 495 horse. We also have a 525 horse version. The car weighs 2,200 pounds with a full tank of fuel. It's absolutely a rocket ship. We went with a Nardi steering wheel with our own custom center cap. It's got Stuart Warner gauges, our custom switch panel. Transmission is a Tremec T56 6-speed, and the rear differential is a Cadillac CTSV. All GM parts, all brand new parts, so that anything is easy to go down to any GM store and pick up any parts you need. Even the uprights are Corvette C5, so that we can run standard ball joints, all that, but then our own custom suspension from there. I do not have a metal shaping background. I know just enough to probably be dangerous only to myself. I have hobbyist mechanic skills, and I can do some hobby type welding, but nothing that I consider good enough quality for these cars. Those guys do a much better job than anything I can do. Yeah, Mike and Brad are the fabricators and the drive behind the work in the shop. They pretty much take care of everything on the fabrication side of it, on the mechanic side of it, and their skills are second to none.
It all starts right here with our jig table. You can kind of see how all the tubes line up inside these little V-notch grooves. And that's the main structure of this car. You start there with the flat pieces and start building up. Yep, get the whole lower frame sitting in there. And you don't start welding anything till it's sitting nice and relaxed in there. And then from there you start building up. So in this area right here, this pretty much builds 90% of this chassis right here. This tube bender from Baileigh is an awesome piece of equipment. I love the great big dial on here. You can actually see the degrees that you're bending to. Couple tube notchers. This belt sander works really good for dialing in. It's really precise. Got an end mill over here. That's a nice tool too. We use it mostly for a good solid drill press at the moment. I got a lot to learn on it yet, but really nice tool. Bandsaw from Baileigh. This is really nice. We use this daily all the time. This thing's got some nice features on it. If you happen to break a blade, you can weld it back together and reuse it. Or if you got a really long piece and all of a sudden you get stuck where, oh crap, I can't get it out, you can cut it and then put it back together.
We have over here?
From Baileigh, we have a foot stop shear. Use that on the daily. And then here we have the magnetic brake 4-footer. That's a great tool to use. We usually use aluminum for our cars, but if you do use sheet steel, because it's magnetic, freaking awesome. This is one of their presses. We got louvers, we got different dies for like lightning holes. We have a 3-inch and a 5-inch louver. Here we have the English wheel. Just getting going here. It's a good machine to have. I'm still learning on it. Then here we got shrinker stretchers. Well, the price is right. Let's go for 2. Now you don't have to change the dies. It's a really nice, small, compact unit. Wheels on it, you can roll it right over to the car you're working on. You don't have to, put a bunch of trips in around the shop, so that works really nice. And then here we got a bead roller. I think this is a 36. Great machine. The quick disconnect, as you could call that. I don't really know. That works absolutely awesome, because if you're coming through in on a panel and you get to a spot where you got to stop, instead of adjusting this however many times, was it 3, was it 2, I can't remember, you just boom, pull back out, right back to where you started. Variable speed control is awesome. What I like about it, you can set your dial so you got your top speed, but with the foot pedal, the harder you push, the faster you go. And of course, it's just a well-built machine. I mean, high quality, tough. We got a bunch of different dies for it.
I mean, all of Baileigh's tools have, anything from general to very specific uses. Something as simple as punching louvers in the side panels becomes so much easier with the hydraulic louver press. Without the bead roller, we're not able to do the step bead that helps us flange the panels for the Zeus's. You use the tube bender every time we build a chassis, and without that, I mean, we're sitting there, fighting an older piece of equipment that might not do the job nearly as accurate as the Baileigh does. Well, for us, I mean, on the, what Baileigh does really great is their customer service. I mean, for us, we're only 2.5 hours away from the factory. We've driven down and picked up tools and talked with everyone there, gotten tours, and they've always taken the time to deal with us when we show up, so that's always been nice. And as far as the tools themselves go, I don't really think we've had a light bulb go out on our bandsaw, but that's about the only thing that's gone wrong. So when you're picked up by Baileigh's social media, it means that you're being recognized for what you're doing. And not only that, but you're being put into a group of people that, it's the top fabricators, it's the top craftsmen in the world. We're very fortunate to be considered in that.
For me, just you can tell the quality of these machines. I mean, they're very, very well built, heavy duty, reliable. If they're not going to break on you.
We're fortunate enough too, we live 2.5 hours from their main headquarters. So when we were getting half this stuff, we were able to go down and actually look at it and watch it run in certain situations.
Yeah, so this is our chassis back in, just from the powder coater here. We did a bronze chrome on this and then chromed everything that you see from the outside as well. Pretty much everything on this is custom, from the radiator to our front drive accessories. The intake is hand built. We custom build the wiring harness in-house. Yeah, I mean, from start to finish, unless it's a GM part or something off the shelf that's just easy to get, everything on the car itself is hand fabricated.
All right, so this car over here is kind of the second stage after we get the chassis built and the motor in it. We bring it over here, and now this is where we fit our body on it. This lift works nice. You can kind of get all the way underneath it and work from the bottom up. So that's kind of where this car is at, is fitting the body, getting that hung how it's supposed to be. Last year we did right around roughly 3 cars. That's getting faster and faster as we go. We've been building jigs for everything. So like this piece here, for example, you almost just put this down and trace it. And as long as you get your body fitment to where, on your starting point, the same each time, it's very close. It's really repeatable.
So this is pretty much how customers can order the car. We are leaving them in bare aluminum, bare steel frame, everything like that, so that you can pick everything from powder coat colors to interior to your paint. Basically give you some sort of customization on it. We're the manufacturer, the dealer, everything put together, kind of. So.
What I think is really cool about the Troys that we build here are the fact that it's almost a new American hot rod. The way Wally Troy had built the original Troy Roadster, it just combined so many different aspects of automotive design, from being a sports car to a custom to a hot rod. And when we sought to redesign this car, we obviously weren't going to do anything to change the original, but we thought, how can we build this car as a Wally Troy would have built it today? So that's why the aluminum bodywork was for sure. We were not going to compromise on that. The suspension, we did divert a little bit. We wanted something that would actually perform as good as it looked. Where Wally Troy used a 283 Chevrolet engine with dual quads, we went with the LS3, the modern equivalent of. Makes this car very drivable and a whole lot of fun.
I would say the legacy that I would like this company to leave behind is being able to bring cars to light that most people don't get the chance to drive or see or anything like that. We want to build stuff that looks old, drives brand new, and is attainable for a lot of people, where going out and buying $1 million Indy car that you can only put on a racetrack isn't necessarily something that anyone can do. These are street legal Indy cars. You hop in and drive them wherever you want, and everywhere you go, people just are blown away by them. The other thing is that we're trying to help the small town community that we're in, and so we've really tried to hire local craftsmen. We've employed a lot of groups from the area, or at least the Midwest, that also help the town of Three Lakes out a bunch, so we try to keep things as local as possible. These cars, aside from being just really great handling, also do insanely good burn outs.